The door slammed. Not a soft push. Not the wind. A hard, violent slam. Emily froze on the threshold of the abandoned farmhouse. Her heart hammered once, twice, then stumbled into a panicked rhythm. She swore she left the door wide open behind her. She swore she felt the breeze a second ago. Now nothing. Just thick, heavy air pressing down on her chest. The silence stretched. Too quiet. Even outside, no cicadas, no crickets, no wind through the trees. Like the entire Midwest night had leaned in, holding its breath, waiting for her next move. Emily's sneakers creaked against the warped floorboards. Each step echoed as if the house were hollow, like she was walking inside a ribcage. She forced a shaky laugh. Okay, funny. Who shut the door? But no one answered. Her friends were outside. She knew that. At least they were supposed to be. 5 of them, waiting in the car by the dirt road, watching, laughing. It was a dare. 1 hour inside the farmhouse, Josh had said, grinning with that cocky smirk. If you last, you're in. If not, you pay for the keg. She laughed then. She wasn't laughing now. The farmhouse stank. Not just dust and mildew, something heavier, like rot, wet wood, and under it, something metallic, something sharp. Her phone buzzed once in her pocket. She yanked it out. The screen glitched, flickered, then died, the glow fading into black. Shit, she whispered, shaking it. No, no, no. The battery had been full. She charged it in the car. Dead now, completely dead. The air seemed to sink colder around her. She raised her flashlight. The beam shook in her trembling hands. The walls were stripped, wallpaper peeling like dried skin. Dark stains spread across the floor, patterns of something spilled long ago. Her stomach tightened. She remembered the rumors. This is the place where the family died. The story everyone in town whispered about, but never told straight. Father lost his mind. Mother drowned in the well. The kids, gone. Nobody knew how. Emily swallowed hard. Just 60 minutes, she muttered. That's it. 60 minutes and I'm out. The second she said it, she heard it. A whisper, faint, sharp, scraping the air from the hallway ahead. Her name, Emily. The beam of her flashlight jumped across the hallway. Shadows stretched too long, bending away from the light instead of retreating. Her throat went dry. She whispered back, barely audible. Josh, not funny. I swear to God, not funny. Silence. She stepped deeper. Her shoes slid on the dust, making tracks like footprints left in snow. She moved slower, every sense straining, waiting for something, anything to move. The stairs groaned above her. One step, then another. Something heavy shifting its weight. She lifted the light toward the landing. The beam caught nothing, just the empty banister and the hollow dark above. Her breath came short. Her ribs felt locked, like the house itself was squeezing her lungs. She whispered again, "Hello?" No answer, only the sound of wood stretching, bending, sighing as though the house was breathing. Emily's knuckles whitened around the flashlight. She forced her legs forward into the hallway. The walls seemed closer now, pressing inward. She caught the edge of a door swinging slowly, back and forth. Creak, creak, creak. The smell was stronger here. Rot, decay. She tried to breathe shallow, but it clung in her nostrils, bitter and sour. Her hand brushed the wall. The wallpaper was damp, slimy. She yanked her hand back, heart hammering. The beam caught her fingertips, dark, sticky. Blood. She staggered backward, her voice breaking. No, 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 no. A sound cut her off. The whisper again, closer this time, right by her ear. Emily! Her whole body jerked. She spun, the flashlight slicing through the dark. Nothing, just empty. Hallway stretching behind her. The light flickered, once, twice. Then, dark, total, absolute, smothering. Her scream caught in her throat. She shook the flashlight, smacked it with her palm, desperate. It flickered back on for a fraction of a second. And that second was enough. At the far end of the hall, just at the edge of the light, something stood. Tall, thin, wrong. Its head tilted sharp, too far to one side, neck cracked like a broken doll. Its arms hung long, fingers dragging against the floorboards. Her heart slammed so hard she swore it cracked her ribs. She blinked, light gone again. Dark. Then the sound. Footsteps. Not walking. Not steady. Crawling. Rapid. Sharp bone against wood. Coming closer. Emily stumbled backward, slammed against the wall, breath tearing from her throat. Her voice broke into a whisper. Jesus Christ, no. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Her heart pounded in her ears. Sweat ran cold down her neck. She dared to lift the light again. The beam sputtered back to life. Empty hallway. No figure. No sound. Just her own ragged breath echoing too loud in the dead farmhouse. But then, behind her, the door, slamming shut again. Emily stood frozen in the hallway, her back pressed against the wall, the flashlight trembling in her hand. The door had slammed again, sealing her inside. The sound echoed through the hollow farmhouse like a gunshot, then faded into silence so complete it roared in her ears. Her throat tightened. 60 minutes. Just 60 minutes. She tried to remind herself, but the thought crumbled in her mind. Time didn't feel real anymore. Minutes stretched like hours, each breath heavier than the last. The air shifted. Colder now. Bitter. Sharp, like breathing ice. She could see her breath clouding in the weak glow of her flashlight. That wasn't right. It was August in the Midwest. Too warm for frost. Too warm for this. Then the sound. A dragging noise, slow, relentless, wood against wood. She swung the flashlight across the hall. Nothing, just peeling. Wallpaper and the warped floorboards. But the sound didn't stop. It grew louder, closer, echoing through the walls. Something moving. Something heavy. Emily's lips trembled. Who's there? Silence answered. Then another sound. Not dragging this time. A whisper, soft, hissing, from the kitchen. She forced her feet to move, sneakers sliding in the dust. Each step was louder than she wanted, betraying her fear. She clutched the flashlight so tight her knuckles ached. The kitchen door loomed ahead, cracked open just an inch. Creak. It swung wider, slowly groaning. Her breath stuttered. She aimed the flashlight inside. Broken dishes lay scattered across the floor, shards glinting like teeth. The table was gouged with long, deep scratches, as though something with claws had raked across it. Her chest heaved. She stepped closer, the beam of her flashlight catching on the fridge. The door rattled. Just a small shake, then still. Her voice was barely a whisper. Please, don't. The fridge door swung open. By itself, the light inside flickered, glowing sickly yellow. Empty shelves, empty drawers. But the smell, sharp, sour, rancid, poured out in a choking wave. Emily gagged, covering her mouth. She backed away, heart pounding in her ears. The fridge door slammed shut. She screamed. The flashlight slipped in her sweaty grip, beam jerking across the kitchen. For a second, just a second, she saw it. A shadow against the wall, but not hers. It was too tall. Arms stretched long, fingers pointed and thin. The head was bent low, unnatural. It didn't move when she did. It stayed still, watching. The beam flickered. The shadow was gone. Emily's breath came in broken gasps. She stumbled backward into the hallway, shoulders shaking. The house moaned above her. A weight shifted. Boards groaned like footsteps. She tilted the flashlight toward the ceiling. Dust rained down through the cracks. Something was up there. Whispers again. This time layered. Not just one voice, many, dozens. All low, murmuring, words she couldn't understand. The sound bled through the walls, seeping from every corner. Then clear, one word, her name. Emily. She spun, the light jerking wildly. The hallway stretched longer now. Darker, as if the house had shifted, growing deeper around her. Her throat tightened. Her pulse roared in her head. This isn't real. This isn't real. The whispers rose, louder, urgent, desperate. Some sounded like children, some like old men, some like women crying. The walls seemed to pulse with them, the wallpaper peeling further, edges curling like burned paper. She saw faint markings under the surface, writing, words scrawled across the plaster in something dark. She stepped closer, raising the light. It wasn't writing, it was scratches. Thousands of them, names carved over and over, some faded, some fresh, all desperate. Her flashlight beam froze on one. Her own name, Emily, carved deep, repeated, again, dozens of times. Her stomach twisted. Her legs shook so badly she had to lean against the wall. No. The air around her dropped colder. She shivered violently, her breath fogging thick now. Frost spread across the wall, creeping from the carved names outward like veins of ice. Her teeth chattered. Her lips cracked. The cold cut deep into her skin. Then the sound of laughter, faint, childlike, echoing through the house. Her eyes widened. Who's there? No answer, just the sound of small feet running across the upstairs. Floorboards, light, quick, scurrying. She backed toward the front door. Her hand grabbed the knob, twisted hard, locked. She rattled it, slammed her shoulder, screamed, "Let me out!" The laughter grew louder. The whispers followed, rushing down the stairs like a wave of voices, drowning her in sound. She clamped her hands over her ears, but it didn't help. The voices were inside her head. The light flickered again. The hallway warped. The walls seemed to bend, closing in. The floor swelled, groaned, then split in tiny cracks. From the gaps, cold air poured upward, carrying with it a smell that made her gag. Earth, rot, and something worse. Her flashlight beam cut across the living room doorway, and she saw them. Shadows, dozens of them, standing, waiting. Shapes of people, but hollow. Eyes like pits, faces blurred. They didn't move, didn't breathe, just stood there, watching, her body locked in place. Then one stepped forward and whispered, "Stay." The beam flickered. Darkness swallowed the house. The house was dark, too dark. Emily's flashlight stuttered weakly, its beam slicing through thick shadows that seemed to press closer instead of retreating. Her breath came in short, uneven gasps. Every inhale burned her chest. Every exhale felt stolen, like the air itself resisted leaving her lungs. She stood in the hallway, her back pressed against the cold plaster, eyes darting from corner to corner. The whispers had faded, the laughter gone. For a moment the silence returned. But silence was worse. Her hands shook. Her voice trembled. "It's not real. It's just a story. Just a house, just..." The floor groaned above her. A step, then another. Her stomach dropped. She froze, her body refusing to move. Slowly, she lifted the flashlight toward the staircase. At the top stood a figure, tall, thin, wrong. Its head hung at an angle, bent too far, neck cracked like something broken. Its arms dangled low, too long, the hands nearly scraping the floor. It didn't breathe, didn't sway. It just stood there. Emily's mouth went dry. Her lips trembled around a single word. "Hello?" The figure twitched. A sharp, violent jerk, its head snapping from side to side. Too fast, bones cracking with each motion. The sound was sickening. Emily stumbled backward, the flashlight beam shaking wildly. The thing moved. Not walked, not ran. It crawled, fast. Bones cracked with every motion. Elbows and knees jerking at unnatural angles as it launched itself down the stairs. Its hands clawed the wood, dragging its body like an insect scuttling across a wall. Emily screamed. She spun, running blindly down the hallway, shoes sliding on the dust. The flashlight beam jumped, catching glimpses, the gouged table, the carved names, the peeling walls. before jerking back into shadow. Her heart hammered. Her breath tore from her throat. The sound behind her was worse. That crackling crawl, fast, relentless, scraping closer. Her ankle caught on loose wood. She stumbled, crashed to the floor. The flashlight clattered ahead, spinning across the boards. Its beam rolled, landed sideways. Emily's eyes widened. The thing was there, crawling low, head twitching, its limbs bent wrong, joints clicking in sharp bursts. Its faceless head tilted toward her. Emily scrambled, kicking backward, her palms raw against the splintered floor. The creature lunged. Cold, hands closed around her ankle, thin, long, fingers like ice, sinking deep into her skin. Emily screamed so loud her throat tore raw. She kicked, twisted, fought. Her sneaker slipped, the laces ripping. She tore free, the shoe left behind in its grip. She scrambled to her feet, stumbling toward the flashlight. She grabbed it, whipped around, beam blazing against the dark. The figure crouched low, the shoe dangling from its hand. It tilted its head, slowly, curiously, then dropped the shoe and crawled again. Emily bolted, shoving through the kitchen door. She slammed it shut, chest heaving. She jammed her back against it, clutching the flashlight in trembling hands. The silence lasted only seconds. Then scratching, fingers clawing the other side of the wood. Slow, deliberate, scrape. Scrape, scrape. Emily pressed both hands over her mouth, tears streaking her face. Then quiet. Her pulse thundered in her ears. She held her breath, waiting. The knob turned. Once, twice, slowly. Emily gasped, shoved away from the door, fumbling backward. It didn't open. Not yet. But something knocked. 3 times. Hard. The sound rattled the cabinets, shook the dishes in the sink. Emily's legs nearly gave out. She stumbled, gripping the counter for balance. No, please, God. The knocking stopped. Her flashlight flickered. The beam caught something across the kitchen wall. A shadow, but not hers, not human. It was tall, distorted, a twisted silhouette that stretched across the peeling wallpaper. Head tilted, arms dragging. Her stomach lurched. She whipped the light down to the floor. Empty. No one there. Her breath hitched. Her hands shook. She swung the flashlight back to the wall. The shadow was closer. She gasped, the light nearly slipping from her grip. She backed up, tripping over broken plates. The beam trembled, jumped. The shadow stretched across the floor now, moving toward her. Her chest seized. She screamed, bolting through the kitchen door on the other side. The hallway yawned before her, darker than ever. Her flashlight sputtered once, twice, then died. Darkness swallowed her. Her breath came in broken sobs. No. She smacked the flashlight, hard. It blinked back on. And there, right in front of her, the figure, not at the stairs, not across the hall, inches away. Its faceless head tilted down, empty pits where eyes should be. Its jaw unhinged, splitting wide with a sound like tearing bone. Emily screamed, stumbling backward, crashing into the wall. The creature lunged, its body folding, twisting, bones snapping as it crawled fast across the floor. She ran, blind, terrified, nowhere left to go. The first encounter had begun, and there would be no turning back. Emily's lungs burned. She crashed through the hallway, slamming shoulder first into a doorway, stumbling into the living room. The flashlight shook in her grip, its beam jittering across the room like a heartbeat. Bright, dark, bright, dark. Her chest heaved. Her eyes darted. No figure, no crawling limbs. Just shadows pressed thick along the walls, hiding in every corner. Her hand shook as she raised the light higher. The living room was a tomb of dust and rot. Curtains hung in tatters, the fabric stiff with age. A couch slumped against the wall, its cushions split open like wounds. The floor was littered with paper, stacks of old newspapers, curled and yellow with time. Emily swallowed hard. Her voice cracked in the silence. Just look. Prove it's nothing. She crouched, lifting one of the papers. The edges crumbled in her fingers. The headline punched through her chest. Farmhouse tragedy, family of 5 found dead. Her breath hitched. She flipped the paper open, eyes racing over the faded text. Local farmer William Carrington found deceased, gunshot wound to the head. Wife discovered drowned in the well behind the property. 3 children missing, believed taken or lost. No remains recovered. Emily's stomach twisted. She dropped the paper like it burned her. Another caught her eye. Same headline, different date. Another article. Another retelling. But worse. The ink was smudged, as if someone had dragged their fingers through it. Her flashlight flickered, beam skittering across the walls. Her breath caught. Drawings. Dozens of them. The walls were covered, stick figures scratched into the plaster, layered over one another, some tall, some small, families, children. Every face was crossed out, black slashes tearing through where eyes should be. Emily staggered backward, the papers crunching under her feet. Her chest heaved in ragged gasps. No, no, no. The whispers returned, not faint now, clear, close. Children's voices. Giggling, crying, calling out. Help us! It hurts. Come play. Emily's knees buckled. Her hands trembled, the flashlight beam jumping wildly. She spun toward the sound. Nothing. Then movement. In the corner of the room, the shadows shifted. Shapes formed, small, fragile. Children. Their outlines flickered like candlelight. Half there, half gone. 3 of them. Standing in a row. Emily's voice cracked. Oh God. The smallest child stepped forward. His face was pale, blurred, but his mouth moved. A whisper scraped the air. Emily. Her blood turned to ice. Her name, not just called, not just spoken with familiarity, as if he knew her. The beam of her flashlight shook across the wall. More carvings, more names scratched into the plaster. Over and over, deeper and darker, until one leapt out. Her name, Emily Carrington. Her throat closed. Her stomach lurched. She dropped to her knees, clutching her chest as if her heart would tear free. No, that's not me. The whispers surged louder, overlapping, a tide of voices flooding the room. Emily, you came back. Don't leave us again. The papers scattered, swirling across the floor as if pushed by invisible hands. Her flashlight beam caught another clipping pinned crooked to the wall. Carrington line doomed? Tragedy of 1897 echoes in descendants. Her breath froze. The article spoke of curses, of family lines tied to the house, of names repeating through generations. Her name among them. Emily's vision blurred with tears. She shook her head violently, clutching her hair. No, 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 stop! The children's whispers rose into screams. Their shapes flickered brighter, closer. Their hands reaching out, small, dirty, trembling. She stumbled backward, crashing into the couch. Her flashlight slipped from her grip, rolling across the floor. Its beam spun crazily, landing on the darkest corner of the room. And he was there. The tall figure. The father. Broken neck, long arms, faceless. Watching. Emily's scream ripped the silence apart. The children's voices layered over one another now. Louder, faster. Don't leave. You belong here. Family. Emily scrambled across the floor, papers sticking to her skin. She clawed at the walls, desperate, frantic. Her nails tore as she tried to scratch the names away. To erase the truth burned into the plaster. But the names wouldn't vanish. Instead, they multiplied. Fresh carvings etched themselves into the wall before her eyes. Invisible hands dragging into the plaster, deep, violent. Her name, over and over. Emily, Emily, Emily. She screamed until her voice cracked, tears blurring her vision. The whispers softened suddenly, almost gentle. You came home. Her blood froze. The faceless figure stepped forward, slow, deliberate. His bones cracked. With each movement, he loomed over her, his head tilting, the broken neck bending close enough for her to hear the sound of grinding bone. Her chest heaved. She couldn't move, couldn't scream. The children's hands brushed her, arms, cold, gentle, pulling her closer to the wall, to the names, to them. Emily realized the truth. She wasn't here on a dare. She wasn't trapped by accident. She was meant to return. Her bloodline tied to this house. Her name written in its walls long before she was born. And the family wanted her back. Emily's throat ached. Her lungs dragged shallow, burning breaths. She was backed against the wall, surrounded by shadows carved with her own name. The air trembling with whispers. The children pressed close, their pale, flickering hands tugging at her arms, her clothes pulling her down toward the rotting floorboards. Their eyes, hollow pits, stared straight through her. Stay. Don't leave. You belong. Her sobs ripped from her chest. I'm not one of you. I don't belong here. The whispers rose in unison, a tidal wave of voices that drowned her words. You do, you do, you do. The faceless figure stepped closer. Bones cracked with each motion. His head bent, twitching, arms dragging like pendulums. He loomed over her, his presence filling the room like a weight pressing on her chest. Emily's flashlight flickered across the floor, the beam rolling toward the couch. In that brief glow, she saw it. The floor splitting, tiny cracks widening into dark gaps. From the depths, hands emerged, dozens, small, thin, filthy hands clawing up through the wood. Children's arms, some skeletal, some raw and red, all reaching. Emily screamed, kicking against the wall. The children's hands latched onto her ankles, her wrists. Their grip was cold, strong, unbreakable. She thrashed, fought, her nails clawing bloody lines into the plaster. Let me go! The whispers shifted, no longer pleading, no longer gentle. Commanding now, heavy, ancient. Stay. The faceless father bent low, his head inches from hers. His jaw cracked open, a cavern of darkness, grinding bone echoing through the silence. Emily's chest seized. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Her body was being pulled, slowly, inch by inch. The floorboards groaned as the cracks widened, darkness spilling upward like smoke. She clawed at the couch leg, splinters slicing her palms. Her fingernails snapped, blood streaking the wood. The children's grip only tightened. Please, she sobbed. Please, I don't... The whispers cut her off, hissing in unison. Family doesn't leave. Her body sank lower, the boards splintering around her. She was waist deep in the dark now, her legs swallowed by icy black. The smell of earth, rot, and stagnant water filled her lungs. She gagged, sobbing, thrashing. Her flashlight slipped from her grip, tumbling into the dark below. The beam vanished instantly. The shadows surged. The children laughed, high, broken, echoing. Her head shook violently. No, 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 no. The faceless father straightened slowly, towering above her, his arms stretching outward as if to embrace her. His broken neck cracked loud, echoing through the house. His voice came at last, low, jagged, a sound of grinding stone. You came home. Emily's scream tore the air. Her hands ripped free from the couch. She was yanked downward, faster now, her body dragged into the splitting floor. Her nails clawed lines of blood into the boards as she vanished. Her face disappeared into the dark. Then her chest, her arms. Only her fingers remained, clinging desperately to the wood. One by one they slipped, and then she was gone. The floor snapped shut. Silence. The whispers died. The house stilled. The papers lay scattered, motionless. The carved names sat quietly on the wall, her own among them, fresh and deep. The couch sagged. The air lightened. The farmhouse waited. Outside, a car horn honked. Laughter carried faintly through the night. Time's up! Josh's voice shouted from the dirt road. The group of friends clapped and laughed, checking their watches, calling her name. "Emily, you alive in there?" No answer. One of them smirked. "She's probably hiding, trying to freak us out." They laughed, nudging each other. The wind picked up, brushing against the fields. The house loomed behind them, silent. Then the door slammed, hard. They froze, turned toward the sound. The windows of the farmhouse glowed faintly. Not warm light, not fire. Something pale, flickering. In the second-floor window, Emily stood. Her face was blank, her eyes hollow. And behind her, the children, watching. The faceless father loomed in the corner, his broken head tilted. The light flickered. The window went dark. The farmhouse stood silent again. The friends shifted nervously, glancing at one another. Josh laughed, forcing bravado into his voice. "She'll come out. She's just messing with us." But he didn't sound sure. They waited. Minutes passed. Emily never came out. The door never opened. And from the farmhouse, faint and distant, laughter. Children's laughter.